Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Blonde Cafe podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Villanueva, and I'm your 28-year-old millennial gal out here living my best life, and I'm here to help give you the tips, tricks, and tools to live your best life. And today, I'm coming from oh my gosh, guys. If you don't know, I don't edit my podcast episodes very much. So you're getting it here, you're getting it raw, you're getting it unfiltered. Here we are. Anyways. Today, we are talking all about bringing good vibes and positivity into 2025. And this strictly comes from my reading of the book, The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And if you guys haven't heard about this book, you have to, first of all. It got released on, I believe, Christmas Eve of this year. And she basically tells you not to give a fuck about anything. She tells you, and not in like a sense of like an irresponsible way or a mean way or a negative way, but in a positive way, to say that like not to get worked up over the smallest little inconveniences or not to get worked up over other people's lives. So I am taking that and translating it into positivity for 2025 because that's what we're all about over here on the Blonde Cafe podcast. And if you guys haven't heard, this is a rebrand from the previous Millennial Guide podcast. So we're still doing all the tips, tricks, and tools to live your best life, but we're having fun and we're making it more laid back and less, hustle bustle culture because life is about enjoying it and not necessarily overworking yourself to the point of burnout, which is what I did last year. So I'm so happy you guys are here. So this book, basically, I'll give you the synopsis of it. She walks you through different examples in her life of the way that she applies this theory. And it can apply to coworkers, it can apply to friends, it can apply to family, it can apply to acquaintances, the person at the grocery store. She gives an example of a person sneezing on an airplane. And she also tells you, to take matters into your own hands. And you ultimately are responsible for your own happiness. That's not a secret, guys. That's not something that I'm revealing to you as the ultimate plan. But it's so, so true. Nobody is going to come save you. Nobody's going to, do the work for you. Nobody's going to get that promotion for you. Nobody's going to go to the gym for you. Somebody else is going to work out right now. And you might just be sitting here lounging on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, which is where you found this video. And if that's you, that's completely okay. I just want you to, squeeze the most out of life and enjoy it and get out of your own damn way. Because let's be honest, a lot of people, we have this thought in our head that we can't, that we won't, that we shouldn't, that we couldn't. And what does it come from? It comes from, the world kind of beating you down or not getting enough sleep at night or not taking care of yourself, like mentally and physically. And all of those things can be combined just internally, not to mention, having external forces like a boss, like a coworker, like a family member, like a spouse, like your kids, like your dogs, like any other external forces that come into play in your life. If you're already starting here at level 2 and these forces come knocking you down, it's like death by stones, like you can throw stones. And if all these other forces come at you, you're going to be at a -10. So if you kind of trick yourself into being more positive throughout the day, if you trick yourself into, not caring what other people are doing, not letting other people's emotions affect you. And that can be, honestly, that can be very, very hard, especially if you have a spouse or a loved one or someone that you are extremely close with. And if they're going through a hard time, that can be so damn hard. And, there's times to be there for them and to have compassion and to have love. And Lord knows everybody needs it. And then there's also times to not let their bad day become your bad day. Like if they had an annoying project at work and they come home just angry and blah and just not feeling it and a little bit grumpy, that's okay. You can leave them alone. You don't have to, press and say, oh my gosh, babe, what's wrong? Can I help you? Like, how do I help this? And you don't also have to internalize it and feel like it's your fault. Because I know that can be easy to do too. If you're anything like me, you might be an empathizer and you might be, really, really absorbing those feelings. And then you start to absorb all of those feelings and think that they might have something to do with you, even though they really don't. They're just, built up from the other person's day. And then it comes back and affects you. And so that's my challenge to you is whether it's your spouse having a bad day at work, whether it's your boss having a bad morning and spilling his coffee and getting stuck in traffic and he comes in a bad mood, or if it's, your kids are grumpy because their sports team lost and they're just having the terrible worst day and they got in a fight with their friend or whatever that might be, try not to let it affect you. And you might say like, okay, that's easy to say. What do I do? What you do is when you start to empathize with them and when you can empathize without internalizing, for lack of a better word. You can take that and you can say, hey, I'm really sorry that you had a tough day. And you can say, I'll go ahead and give you your space and you can go do your own thing. If it's a person that's physically in the room with you, you can remove yourself from the room. That's personally what I need to do when it comes to my husband and I, and he's had a bad day, or if I've even had a bad day. I just need to separate myself for a minute. I need to go and watch a silly show on Netflix. I need to go play around on TikTok for 15 minutes or Instagram Reels or whatever the heck. I might get a snack. I might, go for a walk, whether it's inside on my treadmill or walk around the block. I might listen to music. I might take a shower. There are so many things that you can do to kind of like refresh your state a little bit. And usually kind of separating yourself from that equation solves the problem for you. And it might take 5 minutes, it might take a couple hours, and it might take a whole day, to be honest with you, depending on how that person is feeling. And that can go for also like text message conversations or emails. Maybe that's stopping and not responding right away because you don't want to feed into that negative emotion. You don't want to feed into that, already bad day that person's having. Because chances are, if they're triggered already, they're not going to respond back to you like they normally would. They're probably going to respond back in not your favorite way. And then you're just going to feel sad and upset, and it's going to be a whole spiral from there. So that's my personal take on the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And if you guys haven't seen the book, get it in hardback, paperback, write it on a stone. I don't know. Get it in some type of form. Or audiobook, that's my favorite because I walk around the house with my headphones in, whether I'm doing laundry, doing dishes, walking on my treadmill. I freaking love audiobooks. I personally use Audible if you guys want to use Audible. I think there's some other sources too. I'm just not familiar with it. But get it on your Kindle. I don't care what you have to do. Listen to this dang book because it will change your life. And she really gets real and raw with you and gives examples. She's not, pretending like she's the expert by any means. She's just telling you what she's learned. And she also applies it really in a scientific way and a very like tangible, applicable way as well. So that's one of my favorite things that I'm reading currently right now. I'm personally listening to it. I think I'm on chapter like 7 by now, and I got it literally like 3 days ago. So if that tells you anything, that's how fast I've sped through it so far. But I promise you guys won't regret it. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you spread some positivity this week and just, shake it off, for lack of a better word, or brush your shoulders off, or however you want to do it. Try not to let other people's opinions or thoughts or emotions affect your state, because you are your own person, you're your own human, and you have control over that. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.